Hey, Cowboys Nation. Welcome back to Keeping Up with the Joneses. My name is Rika. You can find me on Twitter at Shane's Moving. You can also contact me at ihatecharliemoffat.com.net and .org. Tonight on the show, Mr. Charlie Moffat. What's up, Charlie?
Trying to share this shit.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but okay. Trying to share this shit. All right. Kids, listen up. You know the drill. If you haven't already, please go ahead, hit that like button, give us a thumbs up. If you hate Charlie, yeah, go ahead, give us a dislike. And please make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you can get notified every single time that we go live. Yeah, and I don't even have a video queued up. It is what it is. Listen up, gang. TwistedGorilla.com is the best place online to get t-shirts. They've got sarcastic t-shirts, funny t-shirts, but hey, y'all, they've got Cowboys t-shirts. So head to TwistedGorilla.com. Let them know that you're a fan of Rika, that you're a fan of this show, and that you hate Charlie. And also save 15% at checkout when you use coupon code RIKA15. Listen up, guys. That website, that coupon code in the ticker right down there. So, all right, Mr. Moffat, Washington football team. You want to talk about some injuries?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. Cowboys, really short list. We've got wide receiver Noah Brown, who is going to be out, and questionable Tony Pollard with the foot thing. I don't think that Tony Pollard situation is going to be an issue because I don't think we need to be running this week. I'm looking at the Washington football team injury list. They've got Montez Sweat on the COVID list. They've already lost Chase Young. They basically have no pass rush at this point. And I think it's time to put the ball in the air. Charlie, what do you think?
I always think that.
I know. I always think that too. But I definitely think that this week. And I mean, yeah, is Washington going to be expecting us to try to throw against them? Probably. But you know what? I really don't think there's going to be anything that they can do about it. So let's go, right? Let's stop running the ball. At least this week. Let's stop running the ball. Who else they got? They got guard Wes Schwelzer out with an ankle injury. Linebacker Jordan, don't know his last name. Kunizik, maybe is how you say that. Out hamstring. And questionable this week, running back J.D. McKissick, wide receiver Curtis Samuel, linebacker rookie Jamin Davis, and safety Landon Collins. However, it is important to note that all four of those questionable players did practice this week and are expected to be available at game time tomorrow. So I'm not going to put a whole lot of worry into that. It would be nice to see Landon Collins a little limited, I think. I don't know. Charlie, what do you think?
I'm not very worried about it. As soon as I get through this, we're going to have somebody fucking share this shit
Hey,
while we're doing the show.
Hey, DJ Dog, what's up? DJ says Washington football team, they rush for and play zone behind the offense, tries to play keep away with running the ball, and I'll wait for him to finish.
Who?
DJ Dog, he's
Oh.
telling us something. He
How do you
said,
know he? How do you know he's typing?
I don't know that he is typing, but he said and, so I would assume he's got more
Oh,
to say.
oh.
God, so argumentative. It's a ridiculous show.
No, I don't worry about it. I think we'll be fine. I know. I was looking at earlier. One of the O lines out too.
Short passing game. Thank you, DJ Dog.
Yeah, I know one of their O linemen's out, and so, like I said, this is a big game.
Definitely.
You know, like I posted on Twitter, I think I like to see us go in there and have no questions asked, just dominate. But at the end of the day, if we get the W, I'll be happy. But if we get another W like we did last week, I'll have my concerns, you know, because this is, you know, 1 week's one thing, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, but we're going into 6 weeks. And if this offense is still not looking like it has in the first part of the season, I'm going to start being a little concerned about it because there's no excuses anymore. You got all your coaching staff back. You got all your players back. Everybody who wanted Collins at right tackle, you got fucking Collins at right tackle. You got the all offensive line you wanted. You got McGregor in there, and McGovern in there right now.
Travis Banks.
So, but yeah, I mean, people got the O line they wanted. So that's the O line. So there's no fucking excuse anymore. I mean, it's not the O line I wanted, but it's the O line that the majority of the fan base wanted. Although I do know a lot of them who wanted Mack in there for Williams is starting to back off that. Now they want them to put Williams back in, which I agree, but I never wanted him off the offensive line in the first place. I thought it was a knee-jerk reaction to less than 2 penalties a game. It wasn't hurting us. So, but we'll see how it goes.
Sadiqa, thanks for coming in. And Dwayne Wright says, what's up? Let's freaking go. Damn right. Why couldn't they have moved the game up? The Texans play at noon on Fox tomorrow. Let's see. Travis Banks, we need a center and a left guard. Hey, absolutely. I agree. We need a center and we need a left guard. And yeah, I love Travis Banks' takes during draft time. And I'm definitely going to be hitting your DMs and trying to get you on the Rika Moves the Change show. So be looking out for that.
I'll push back on the center part. I don't think. Yeah, I think, and I'm not accusing him of doing this, but I think the first part of the season, people are still remembering that. If you watch him over the past 5 or 6 weeks, he's not been that bad. He's gotten better since the first part of the season. So no, I'm not saying you don't get one. You always try to improve. I mean, you can't improve over Martin. You know, Martin's Martin. You ain't improving on him. So everybody else you can improve. But I'm not going into the draft worried about center. I'm not. That's not what I'm. It's not one of my key positions I'm worried about.
Do you get the feeling though that Dak has a trust issue there?
With the center, I think he has a trust issue with the whole fucking offensive line the past 4 or 5 weeks. None of them's looked good. Fucking Tyron Smith hasn't looked good since he's been back. You know. Then on top of that, then you had all the switching around and Tyron Smith getting hurt and fucking moving fucking Still over the left tackle, which wasn't very good. You know, you there's been all kinds of, you know, this is what the fuck I know. I know for the first fucking 7 games, we averaged over 400 yards of offense and we averaged fucking over 30 points a game. And then Smith went out, and then they started tinkering with other bullshit, and we haven't been the fucking same since then. That's all I know. I know we pulled a guy who was getting less than 2 penalties a game, didn't cost us a game. People was losing their shit over fucking coaches' ownership, lost their goddamn, you know, mind and made a knee-jerk reaction and yanked him. And the left guard position ain't as good. And that's what I said the whole fucking time. Don't be careful what you wish for. You might get a penalty less a game, but you also might have a worse fucking goddamn player out there. And that's what we have right now. McGovern is not as good as Williams is. That's facts after the past 2. Now, could he get better? Maybe. I don't know. But I know right now this offensive line has not been the same since he's been in there and since all the fucking switcheroos.
So let me ask you this, Charley, and Tavis, you're in the chat. Go ahead and let me know what you think too. Is Does Williams make Biotish better? I think that Williams and McGovern are definitely two different styles of blocking. On paper, they kind of look actually about even this point as far as like pressures allowed, etc. However, I think that Williams, um, he manipulates the defender more. He manipulates another person's body, whereas McGovern does not. He just kind of gets it done when he can. And there's been a few times, and I could be wrong about this. Caveat, I very much could be wrong. But I feel like there's just a couple times when I see McGovern in there and it's like he's not blocking anyone. Maybe he doesn't quite understand the scheme, or is that me just not understanding? Has anyone else noticed that?
Yeah, each one helps each one out. It's continuity. That's what we talk about all the time. I mean, and they're switching everything out. And so yeah, I mean, I know this. I know Williams is a better than McGovern. That's what I know. And it's better to have a better blocker next to you than it is to have a worse one. So, like I said, everybody got their wish, and they got fucking McGovern put in there. Not that the fans was the reason it happened. I'm just saying they got their wish though, and what I said could happen is happening. That it could. You might complain about them 1.5 penalties a game, but it wasn't cost us no games, and he was blocking well. I mean, he's playing 60, 70 plays a game, and you're going to fucking pull him for 2 plays a game, less than 2 plays a game. I thought it was ridiculous to begin with.
See, Williams is a penalty magnet. It will not help Biotish. Plus, McGovern needs off-season footwork. So I've thought for a while now that maybe it wasn't even so much that Williams had just become kind of a penalty magnet, and maybe it wasn't that they were so much pissed about the number of penalties. They just knew that his name was out there, his name was in the press, everybody was talking about it. Do you set him down for a little while, kind of let the refs find something else to focus on, and then trot him back out there? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Who else we got? Rafael Govan, thanks for joining us. And Eric is in there. Good problem to have when your fifth best O-line gets airtime. DJ Dog says McGovern was better at right guard than left guard. Since Williams has been replaced, the offensive line has not been the same. Yeah, we talked about this Tuesday night. I had an all-girls show on Rika Moves the Chains, and we talked about that McGovern really performed much better on the right, and he's probably one of those players who's just naturally going to go right. There are ones who go right, ones who go left, ones who are ambidextrous, but McGovern is going to be a right side kind of guy.
Yeah, me and Bluff talked about it many times when everybody was calling for fucking Williams' head and wanting Mac in there. But it's like it's not as simple as people think. I compare it to bull riding. It's not just it's the left side. It's the punch hand. It's the first step you take with the left foot compared to the right foot. What hand you going to punch with, and it's a balance thing. I compare it to riding a bull. When you ride a bull, if you're right-handed, they're going to give you a left-handed glove, and even though that's not your strong hand, your right hand is your balance hand, and that's the best way I compare it. Is that it is a balance thing. It is not the same. Not everybody can do it. And we have not been the same since then. We have not been the same since Tyron Smith went out, still went to left tackle, and then that caused a couple of games of a clusterfuck. Then we pulled fucking Williams and put McGovern in there, and it's just been a clusterfuck. This is all I know, and I'll go back to this, and I'll keep saying this. Through the first 7 weeks, this offensive line was fine. It was fine. I'm not telling you don't ever try to fine tune it, but we was fucking averaging over 400 yards of offense and over 30 points a game, and we was running at will. Dak didn't have no protection problems, and Zeke and fucking Pollard was going the fuck off. And ever since Tyron Smith went down, they started tinkering with the left guard position. It has not been the same. That's all I know. We can sit here and debate whether we need a new center, a new left guard. All I know is the 5 that we had in there in the beginning of the season was doing just fine.
See, Dwayne Wright says Williams should have stayed in there as long as we were winning and it was not broken. Don't try to fix it. It's been screwed up ever since. Later, oh, sorry, they started moving players around. Um, yeah. And here's my question. If Okay, so if Williams is costing us some penalties and some yardage and maybe every once in a while some points, but is what he's costing us greater than what we can put on the board when he's on the field?
No. That's the whole fucking point of they shouldn't never pulled him. That's why me and Bluffs keep saying it's less. It's 13. It was what 13. It was less than 2 penalties a game, and you're overreacting. You're knee jerking over fucking less than 2 plays a game out of 60, 70 plays a game. It was not as bad as people. I mean, it sucked. Don't get me wrong, and they eyes was on him because he was getting some fucking ticky tack holding calls. But I'd rather protect my $60 million, $40 million quarterback, $160 million quarterback, and have my fucking run game good than have 2 less penalties and we can't fucking run the ball and we're getting our quarterback fucking killed. So I mean, you got to take the good with the bad. And me, it far outweighs having Williams in there over McGovern. That's just my opinion.
So we've got some more people in the chat than we did at the beginning when Charley and I were sitting here talking to ourselves. And I know that Charley always agrees with this, but let's find out from the chat. So we're looking at Tony Pollard, questionable coming into tomorrow. We know that Zeke has been a little banged up. But then looking at Washington, we already knew they were out Chase Young. We've got Montez Sweat now on the COVID list. They are very, very thin on the pass rush. Do we spend tomorrow primarily putting the ball in the air? Because I think we do. I know that they're going to expect us to do that given the injury list for both sides. But even if they expect us to do it, you know what? That's okay because there's nothing they can do about it. I'd love to hear what Eric has to say. Tavis, DJ Dog, you guys let me know. Eric says, going back to the offensive line shuffle, the fan base needed something to complain about. Everything else was firing on all cylinders. Yeah. In regards to Williams and the penalties, I would assume is what Eric's talking about, and that is true. Tavis says, set Pollard down. It's Hardy time for these division games. You think so? You think it's Hardy time? I don't know. And DJ Dog, we are seeing the domino effect of Dak not trusting his protection by getting off his reads too quickly. Yeah, see, I was thinking that too. He hasn't been trusting the protection. However, tomorrow, I think we've got to force him to start putting that ball in the air and figure out how he can trust him. I think this is an opportunity for us. And we need to win this game tomorrow. I didn't care that much about the New Orleans game. I was like, if we win it, we win it. If we don't, we don't. We didn't even do a show last week. I was, I don't care. Here's my thing, though, with this game. I think that this Washington game, is the one that's going to set the tone for what's going to happen the rest of the season. If we go out there tomorrow and we perform very well, we play like we played in week 1 and week 2, then we're going to play like that for the rest of December. We're going to play like that into the playoffs. If we go out there tomorrow and shit the bed, it's going to be a bad month in Cowboys Nation. Raphael says, if Tony Pollard can't play, that will be a huge loss for us. Yeah, Pollard's great. And I mean, Pollard is a great punt returner. Pollard is a great running back. Pollard is great on those short passes. I hate that he won't be able, maybe not be able to play. We'll see. I mean, they may play him just maybe in a little limited use. I'm not sure. And talking about going back to DJ's comment with the domino effect, Tavis Banks says facts.
Yeah. So, like I said, I just know what we was doing the first 7 weeks of the season. I know what it's looked since then, and I know what we've done since then with the offensive line, and it's not working. Mm-hmm. Maybe it will this game.
I mean, we've got Cooper back. We've got our route guy. We've got CD in the slot. We've got Gallup back with his toe touches on the sidelines. And we've got a Washington football team that shouldn't be able to rush the passer as well as they would have last week or the week before or the week before. Given that situation, this is a good time to to force Dak's hand, make him put that ball in the air, and figure out how he's going to trust Connor McGovern and Tyler Biotis, because I think that's where his main problem is.
Yeah.
Eric Pollard as a running back don't matter.
Well, like I said, I've said this before. I said it when they was talking about Pollard being hurt. If the offensive line doesn't correct their shit, it will not matter who's back there at running back. It does not matter. All right. On the opposite side of that, if the offensive line does correct their shit and they get better, again, it won't matter who's at running back. And like Eric, I mean, that's where the running backs don't matter comes in. That I don't really give a shit about the running back. Who is the offensive line blocking well? If the offensive line blocking well, then we'll be fine. Pollard, Zeke, fucking name the running back. We'll be fine. But if they're not, it doesn't matter who they put back there. It's not going to work. So it's all up to the offensive line. That's what's got to do good. And our passing game's got to fucking get better too. But if the offensive line corrects their shit, then our passing game will be better.
Yeah. And Dwayne Wright says, I think Dak will go off tomorrow. He usually does good in divisional games. Yeah.
Shit, yeah.
Shit, yeah. So what else we got? Washington can control the clock, stack the box versus Gibson.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad idea. I mean, stop the run game. I don't think their pass game, I think we can handle that.
So, speaking of Washington's run game, I read an article this week written by Angel Torres for the Landry Hat, and in it he talked about about that New York Giants defense from 10 plus years ago that beat the Patriots up pretty good, about their NASCAR package, and posed the question, can the Dallas Cowboys use Gregory, D-Law, Gallimore, and Micah Parsons to form their own version of a NASCAR package to just completely harass the shit out of quarterbacks? I mean, it's not a bad idea, Charlie. What do you think? I wouldn't mind seeing it, testing it out, stick a toe
Seeing
in
what?
the water,
Repeat that
see
one
what
more time.
happens.
Repeat that one more time.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
Jeez.
No, I know who you. I know who wrote it. I know he works for the Landry Hat. What was he saying about the NASCAR?
He wrote an article about that New York Giants defense from 10, 15 years ago, that beat up on the Patriots a couple times, and about that NASCAR package they had where they would use 4 pass rushers, and could we do something similar using Gregory, D-Law, Gallimore, and Micah Parsons? Should the Cowboys be doing that? Should we do that and try to harass the shit out of some of these younger quarterbacks, especially within our division?
No, I think we'll do that whether the quarterback's young or not.
Yeah.
I've talked about it 2 weeks ago with Bluff when I said when we get Gallimore and fucking Gregory and D-Law back, I expect on passing downs, on obvious passing downs, it's going to be fucking Gregory and fucking Parsons on the edge and D-Law and name that fucking other tackle in the middle. That's, whether it's Osa, Gallimore, it don't really matter. You put whatever they want to do. But yeah, I expect all 4 of them to be in there at the same time on obvious passing downs.
Can we just say how much I freaking love Osa?
Yeah,
damn, I love that kid. Shit.
Yeah, I totally expect that. That's a. I don't see no reason why they wouldn't do that. That would be odd if they didn't do that. If they to get 4 of them 4 guys on the field at the same time rushing the passer, yeah, I don't. As much as fucking Quinn has moved him around and did different things, yeah, I totally expect that's what he's going to do at some points. Not every down, not every passing down, but on certain passing downs, yeah, I totally expect them to all 4 be on the line of scrimmage rushing the passer. That's why I was so happy when we got all of them back. It's going to fucking make the defense look totally different. Hell, they've looked pretty good up to this point, anyways. So
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think for the first time in a while, I'm getting the feeling that our defense is maybe a little bit better than our offense, but there's really no reason for that. In years past, I always understood how come our offense was better than our defense. What I can't figure out right now is why is our defense so much better than our offense? It really doesn't make any sense to me. Um, all right. But that was all that I had written down, man. What do you got? What do you want to talk about?
no, no, anything you want. I mean, I just like I said, I think it's a big game. Uh, I I know if I figured this up right in my head, it's all in my head. So don't put me through this. But I think if we win tomorrow, if we win the next three, we lock it up, regardless what anything else happens. But if we win the next two, and Philly can pull off a win against Washington next week, then we lock it up before that even happens. Before our next Washington game, we'll have it locked up. So,
Okay.
but yeah.
So we beat Washington, we beat the Giants, and then if Philly beats Washington, well, on the same day that we're beating the
Yep.
Giants or the same week,
We win the division.
then we win the division.
And if
Okay.
they don't do that, then we'll have to take out Washington the next week at home to win the division.
We better.
Either way, if we win our next three going into the Cardinals game, we'll have the division locked up and we'll be playing for the 1 seed.
Okay. I mean, I would say obviously I've had a lot of doubts about this offense. They are really making me nervous, but if they come out tomorrow and play really well, then for the rest of the season, the only game that's going to make me nervous is that Cardinals game. Um that's the only one. That's the only one. However, I like that. I like that there's a tough game between us and the playoffs. Um, Even if you have to take a loss that game, you're going to play what I think. I mean, obviously Tampa Bay was at this point the hardest game on our schedule thus far, and we did very well there. The other teams that got the better of us, like Kansas City, it wasn't because they were the better team. It was because we fucked around and we fucked those games up. We did that to ourselves. So, looking at the Cardinals game, you know, I don't mind taking a lower seeding if we learn something in that game, if we figure something out. Well, and maybe accidentally take a loss at the same time that helps us be a better team moving into the playoffs.
We also talk about the players' improvement. The coaching has
Yeah,
improved too.
Charlie and I have talked about that. Tavis, we're not mentally
The
fit for that one
the
seed.
the
We'd rather have the two. Yeah.
No, I never talked about that. Fuck that. I want the
You
one.
didn't talk. Yeah, you
Fuck
want the
no.
one? We
Fuck
talked
yeah.
about the
I don't want
two.
the two.
We
I want
talked
nothing to do
about
with
the
the two. I
two.
want the fucking one.
Maybe who did I talk about? Yeah, we talked about the two.
Well, I can say this: we might talked about it, but you never heard come out of my fucking mouth that I don't want the one. That's what all I've been
Because
talking
that
about
was
is
me.
is how
Was
what
that
we need.
another time when I was
Yeah,
talking
like
and you
what
weren't
we
listening?
need. All I've talked about is what we need to happen for us to get the one. We need to win out. We need fucking Cardinals to lose one before they play us. Then we need fucking Tampa Bay to lose one, and we need fucking Green Bay to lose one. And which is a lot, which is probably not going to happen, but it could happen. And that's I want the 1 seed. No, yeah, I, I want the bye. I want the 1 seed. That's what I want. But yeah, as far as mentally fit, that's all up to each individual person. If you think that or not, I don't see it that way.
Do
But
you think it's the Tavis? Do you think it's the offense maybe not mentally fit, or the team as a whole? I would agree with that statement offensively until at least I see what they're looking like tomorrow and maybe the next week against in New York.
yeah, what the fuck does that even mean? Mentally fit? Like what? Where do you even get that from? Like what have we done this year to show you we're not mentally fit to have the 1 seed? I like somebody to explain that to me because I'm not so sure what that even means. So
I think what I think what he's talking about are these games where we've just kind of beat ourselves. Looking at that Denver game, looking at the Chiefs game, looking at then team as well as preparation from the coaches. Looking at some of these games when we could have won, we should have won, and we didn't win because we went out there and we beat ourselves. That is what I would consider. That's what I took from that statement.
And
As
we
far as
did that with
mental
one. We
fitness,
did that with 1 week rest, and y'all think that if we have 2 weeks rest, it's going to make it worse? Like if we have 2 weeks to prepare, we'll be worse than we was when we had 1 week to prepare. Again, I don't know what you're talking about here. Y'all going to have to explain it better than that. Mentally fit, that's a broad statement. So yeah, no, but I want the 1 seed. But yeah, I'm always going to want the 1 seed. I mean, back in the day, I took the 2 because you get a bye with that one too. But now you only get 1 bye. Everybody only gets 1 bye, which I kind of like. Most people don't like that. I kind of like that because it makes it interesting in the season because everybody's fighting for that one spot now. Like fucking, if we go into week 18, there's a possibility that none of us, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, Cowboys, or Cardinals, can set their players. That they'll all have to play their play. They'll have to win that last game to get the 1 seed. So that makes it interesting. I like it. Because somebody might be locked into the 2 already, and it's like, all right, we can't get the 1. So I kind of like it like this. Some people don't like it. Mental errors are mentally unfit, both sides. Yeah, okay, and I get that, but you're still not explaining to me why a bye week will make that worse. Like, I'm not understanding how a bye week is going to make that any worse. I mean, like if we had some kind of fucked up record coming off the bye, in the regular season and looking like shit or something, then yeah, I can say, okay, we don't handle the bye weeks well. But that's not what's going on here. I don't understand how an extra week of preparation, a week of rest, especially with us being banged up a little bit, although we're healthy now, but 5 games left, I'm sure there's going to be some bumps and bruises again. So yeah, no, I don't.
let's see. EG, thank you for joining us. EG says for the first time this season, our top 3 wide receivers will play together, and you don't understand why our O is behind our D. Yeah, you know what? Because I don't think I don't think that losing one wide receiver is a very good excuse. I mean, I just don't. When we didn't have CD and we didn't have Cooper at the same time, yeah, okay. But, we've got a lot of depth there. Cedric Wilson, even at wide receiver 4, is no slouch. Noah Brown, no slouch. And then you add in the fact that Tony Pollard is also a pretty damn good receiver. And to say nothing of Dalton Schultz, we have plenty of weapons. We have an arsenal of weapons. There is no reason for us to fall apart because we've only got 2 out of the top 3 wide receivers on the field. I don't. And if the Dallas Cowboys if any of them had ever come out and, articulated that, and I'm not saying they have, I haven't heard them say that, but that, they're, not having all 3 of their wide receivers every week hurt them offensively, I would say that they are making excuses because they have a damn good wide receiving core. Raphael agrees with Charley. He wants the bye week.
Anyways, Travis Bank, yes. Actually, I'll even go a step further. The last 2 times we've had the 1 seed, we fucking lost. We lost in 2007 to the Giants having the 1 seed. But we're talking about a Jason Garrett coach team on one of them. One of them we're talking about a Tony Romo led team, which we have not one fucking player from 2007 on this team. Then you go to 2016. Again, we had a rookie Dak, a rookie fucking
see, but I kind
Zeke,
of
and then we
see
had
what
Garrett.
Travis is saying though.
We had Garrett as a coach. Well, I'll tell you this. I think 7 out of the 8. Somebody posted the other day, like 8 out of the last 10, 8 of the last 9 people who won the Super Bowl had 1 seed.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just a Cowboys thing. That Cowboys can't do it. Everybody else can handle the 1 fucking seed, but not us. And like I said, you can't compare it to 2016. That was 6 fucking years ago. That's like fucking telling me fucking Lyle Collins could play left guard because you watch a fucking film from fucking 6 years ago of him being a fucking rookie or a second year guy playing left guard. Everything has changed. We have a new coach. We have a whole new fucking staff. The only thing the same is the owner, the GM, and the fucking training staff. Other than that, there's very few players on this team that was on that 2016 team. The head coach is different. Everything's different. So no.
I'm gonna say if the rest of this season, if we are rolling hard and playing very good games, even losing against Arizona, but playing a very good game, a good loss like we had in week one, I don't necessarily know that I want them to have a break. I don't want to slow that momentum down. I don't.
Well,
That's
now
just
see, that's a fair argument because there's been times like
yeah.
in 2007, I didn't like which we didn't have a lot of momentum going in 2007. That last month we was 2-2 and we did not look good, and we set our players for like a half of the last game against Washington that year, and I didn't like that. With the bye week, I wanted us to play everybody, and in 2016 we did the same thing. We sat Dak played that one series, then Romo came in, then fucking none nuts Sanchez took over from that point on. So yeah, I agree with that. It is hard if we're rolling. Yeah, it does like fuck that bye week can fucking slow us down. So that's an argument. But 5 weeks out, 6 weeks out from the fucking playoffs, saying I don't want the one seed is fucking crazy to me. I mean, I like I said, I can't remember the numbers, but it's like 10 straight fucking. I think Tampa Bay was the one outlier last year who didn't have the one seed and won the Super Bowl at the last 10 or some bullshit without the bye. And they have Tom Brady. They do Tom Brady things. So I don't when Tom Brady's on the team, I things that different shit happens. So I don't count them necessarily.
Wait, Mr. Matt Owen in the house. Good evening. Glad to have you. Um, Tavis mentioned Malik Turner. Yeah, I forgot to list him. I keep forgetting about that kid.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
another one.
Malik
I seen him
Turner's
make that.
excellent.
Yeah, I seen him
Hmm.
make that comment. Yeah, I totally agree with
Um,
them. We've talked about that,
who
and
commands the double team and can spread the field without Coop. You know what? And you're right. EG is absolutely right about that. And I talked about that with Amy from My Cowboys Family and Amanda Foster from the hashtag DC for Life Facebook group on my show Tuesday night. That Coop commands that double coverage, and that does help us out. However, I feel like it's Kellen Moore's job to figure out how do we overcome that when we don't have Coop available. I think that responsibility lies within Kellen Moore and his playbook. Um,
Yes, and that's another thing to improve. I mentioned it earlier when we started talking about something else. It's not just the players that has to improve on this game. It's the coach and not necessarily Quinn, the defense side of the ball, but the offense side of the ball. More needs to clean his shit up. He and I said it 3 games ago. I'm like, he's like pulling out the fucking Jason Garrett's playbook. As everybody knows who followed me, I hate fucking curl routes. If it was up to me, the fucking curl route would be taken out of the fucking playbook. We would never run one. It would just be out. Curl, hook, hitch, all of them. They would all be taken out. And for some reason, when you watch the film where it's all 22, and a lot of times you can just see it on the fucking goddamn live broadcast, there's just a simplistic run 5 yards, turn around. And I'm like, where did all this shit come from? I'm not understanding really what he's doing here lately. Uh, and it's not just a pass run ratio. I'm always going to play bitch about that because I'm a pass happy guy. But fucking, it's the route concepts. It's running to the up the gut every fucking time. There's like no creativity, and I don't even really give a shit about the motion pre snap. That might be a Dak thing. There's quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers, Mike McCarthy never ran a lot of motion in fucking Green Bay because Aaron Rodgers didn't like a lot of motion. He didn't like a lot of noise in front of him. He wanted everything set. He wanted the defense to show their fucking hand before the ball was snapped. And that's why and Romo was the same way. Romo always took that clock down to the last fucking second because he wanted them to show their hand. So that might be a Dak thing. I don't know. So I don't really care too much about the motion and shit. But it's just the creativity of the play after the snap. It's just boring. And I don't really know I really don't understand what's been going on. But they got to clean their shit up too. And if one receiver knocks you out so much that you can't adjust and you just start going simplistic, then everybody calling for him to be a head coach needs to step back and think maybe he's not ready because you got to be able to adjust. You can't have one wide receiver go down and you know who that sounds like? Fucking Jason Garrett. One player goes down and the whole offense fucks up. Dez is out. Fuck, we can't play without fucking Dez. We got CeeDee Lamb, we got Michael Gallup, we got fucking Wilson, we got Turner. I'm going to talk about him. So, I mean, we got other guys. Are they Cooper? No, they're not fucking Cooper. But you can adjust. You got enough firepower there that you should be able to adjust.
let's see. Kellen is not an offensive guru. You got a former Super Bowl champ running back and can't utilize him. Um, See, I don't know. I think that Kellen, I'm not really understanding Kellen Moore at this point, and this is the part that Charlie loves. I wrote a huge blog last summer about Kellen Moore. Actually, I did like a whole lot of research on Kellen Moore, and I watched him. I watched an interview with him. What year was that from? Now I don't remember. Anyway, it was back when he was at Boise State, and he was, did an interview with John Gruden and was, standing up there at this marker board and drawing out these plays and talking to Gruden. And it was just so awesome to watch him work and watch how his mind was working and the complexities of the offensive scheme at Boise State, and how while Kellen Moore was not the most physical guy, he wasn't the best quarterback athletically that they probably, could have recruited at Boise State. He was mentally so brilliant that he was able to understand what it was that they were doing over there on the bluegrass. Um, so then when I see Kellen Moore start, maybe, you see these awesome things come out of him and then he pulls it back a little bit, then he throws a little bit more out. I'm not sure what that is. And there was some discussion over the last week, especially on Twitter, about is Kellen holding back plays for later? Um, if he is, man, I wish that he would stop doing that. I don't like that. I don't want to I don't want to hold anything back. I want to try everything out right now. You got to make sure you can execute it, right? I mean, it's a 17 game season. They're going to watch tape on you, but you try a few plays out here and there. They still don't know what you're going to do you know, when they line up against you, especially if you're extremely diverse in your playbook. Um, Still doesn't mean that they're going to be able to read Dak either or read that offense the way, I don't know, Charlie, Kellen, what do you think?
No, my opinion's out there. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I mean, I'm not in a locker room, so I don't know. I'm not in a meeting room, so I don't know what the fuck he's doing and why he's doing this and why he's changing shit up and going more simplistic. It seems, all I know is he need to pull his head out of his ass and go back to what he was doing early in the season. Uh, maybe some of it, maybe it might be the offensive line. It might be that he feels like they can't hold up long enough to run some of the shit he wants to run. So he has to run the little 5 yard fucking curl routes just because they got to get the fucking ball. So I understand that, but but that goes back. They gotta get their shit together, because this is 5 weeks of just, besides the Atlanta game, it's just 5 weeks of like, what the fuck are y'all doing? It's like nothing. Our run blocking ain't good, or pass blocking ain't good, our wide receivers are dropping balls, our wide receivers and Dak are not on the same page, or wide receivers running wrong routes, admitting it. CD admitted and took blame for it, but it's just like they're like lost. It's like I don't know. And Dak, and you know me, I love Dak. I defend Dak all the time, but Dak needs to pull his head out of his ass too. And I'm not saying they don't know this. They all know this. They all admit to this. I'm just saying that after 5 weeks, they keep telling me this and keep telling me they're pissed off and keep telling me y'all won't see this again. Well, we keep fucking seeing it, So eventually, y'all got to do it's got to change, you know. But about his comment earlier about the fans and shit and wanting to make him head coach, I made a video on that, Travis, about 5 weeks ago when everybody was fucking calling for fucking McCarthy's head at the end of the season so we can make sure we keep more. I'm like, no, what the fuck are y'all doing? Why are we talking about firing a coach? At that time we was what, 5-1, 6-1, like, why are we talking about getting rid of a head coach that's 6-1 for an offensive coordinator who has never fucking coached a game of football in his life, never been a head coach? You don't know how he's going to do as a head coach. Take the fucking play calling out of him. You don't know how he can lead a team, So no, it's like everybody was giving McCarthy no credit and just giving everything to Moore. We was 6-1 because of Moore. And I mean, I don't want to lose more either, but I don't want to get fucking McCarthy fired. I don't want to fire my head coach I mean, that's what asked everybody. What if we go to the fucking Super Bowl and win it? Are we seriously talking about y'all seriously still going to want to keep more and fire the head coach that just won the fucking Super Bowl? You know, y'all lost your shit when fucking Jerry Jones fired Jimmy Johnson after winning two, but y'all are okay with this one. So it makes no sense. No, and then like I said, I don't know what he's doing. I can't explain it. I can tell you what I think, but at the end of the day, they just got to straighten their shit up.
So, what else we got? We've got Mr. Gilmore is here and he is talking nonsense. Yeah, Josh, I'm not even going to put that shit on the screen. I'm not going to put that shit on the screen. Cherry Jones. Todd Corey. Hey, Todd, thanks for joining us. Todd says McCarthy has done a good job, in my opinion. I think so too. I think so too. And a lot of people were unhappy with him after the shit show that was 2020, but I didn't. I wanted to like give him a clean slate. I wanted to hit the restart button and say, you know what, scratch 2020. It
I
was
scratched
freaking.
2020 the
It
minute
was.
Dak went down.
It was freaking weird. He lost his quarterback. He didn't have a training camp with his brand new team, and there was all this weirdness and learning shit on Zoom. And scratch it, erase it, give him a fair shot, give him 2 years, give him 21 and 22 and see what he can do. And I really like what he's done in 2021. I really like that he's a little bit more aggressive, actually a lot more aggressive than Jason Garrett ever was.
He hasn't been the past 2 weeks,
He's yeah.
which he wasn't on the
Um,
sidelines last week, so I can't blame him for that one.
right. Without him on the sideline, I can see where maybe they went a little more conservative. I really didn't understand what the hell was going on against the Raiders. Why did all of a sudden did we go conservative? That didn't make
That
sense
was
to me.
that was horrible. That was absolutely horrible.
Um, let's
But like I said, I
see.
got to be fair, and I'm the guy. I want to go for it every down. I don't give a fuck. It could be fourth and fucking 10, and I'm saying fuck it, go for it. I don't give a shit where you at on the field. You know what? Worst thing you do, what happens? You don't get it. Other teams
Especially when you
score.
have a defense playing as well as we are. In 2020, there were times we went for it on fourth down, and I was like, oh, stop going for it on fourth down. I always hated that Jason Garrett went for it on fourth down, but then in 2020, I knew we didn't have a defense that was going to be able to compensate for the fact that we just gave them a short field. So I wanted to be a little bit more conservative. But right now in 2021, I know we do have that defense. Um, if going for it on fourth down doesn't work out, we give somebody a short field, our defense can handle it, keep him out of the end zone, and let's try again. So I'm not worried about it. Do it. Do it whenever you want to. Um, DJ Dog says, I think McCarthy and his staff have done an excellent job of handling the injuries and trying to keep the team healthy for stretch run. Yeah, we've considering some of the injuries we've had, we've done very well, especially defensively. Those weeks without both Gregory and Demarcus Lawrence, we did very well. I don't think that we did the best job handling offensively the Tyron Smith injury. However, that's been a problem for multiple years, and it's been um, there's a shortage out there of offensive linemen. I think maybe if Josh Ball had been able to be healthy this season, maybe that might have worked out a little bit better. But yeah, we'll talk about that as draft time comes around. Um,
Yes, Matt, that's probably one of our
Raphael,
best fucking off-season signings
oops,
right there.
sorry.
Brian
Brian
Anger.
Anger's been
Yeah, he's
phenomenal.
he's reversed
Yeah.
he's reversed field position multiple times. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's been a real good pickup on us. That
Mhm.
and I'm not big on punters or punting either, but I do have to admit that he's done very well. He's changed a lot of field position for us. Because there's times I'm thinking, man, they're going to have good field position. That motherfucker just boots off a 60-yarder and just pins them back. So yeah, he's been good. I've been impressed with him. He's got a fucking leg. And as far
See.
as Dak, this is December, and Dak's not a pressure quarterback. Don't win December. Actually, December is his best fucking month. He is winning percentage of December is higher than September, October, or November. That's his best winning percentages in December. You might
Let's
be talking about
see.
Tony Romo.
See, Tavis says versatility matters. Garrett never did that. Absolutely. Uh, He also thinks that Inger will be a free agent off season.
He will. He only signed to a 1 year deal.
Mm. I get him back.
I mean, I want to keep him, but like I said, when it comes to kickers, I'm even field goal kickers. Important people think they're. I don't really give a fuck about kickers. I really don't. If it
Garrett
was up to
was
me, it was up to
Garrett
me
was
to fucking.
but a yes
Uh,
man, a gutless turd in the punch bowl of life.
but yeah, I don't really. If it was
Okay,
up to
whether
me,
you
they
love
take the
Garrett or
kicking game
hate
out of
him,
it.
you gotta admit that's fucking funny. Anger flipped the field in overtime against the Raiders. Yes, sir. Kicker from San Diego State is what Tavis Banks says. When Tavis Banks tells me to watch a college player, I watch. I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, I know who he's talking about. I haven't watched him much, but I've heard him talked about. I don't really do draft that much during this time of season, but I do. If somebody post shit, I'll read it.
Let's see.
Going more 20 personnel.
He's 20s on 11% of the snaps in 18, only 5% this year. Charley?
What, 20 personnel? Yeah, I'm okay with 20 personnel. I mean, 11's my favorite. I mean, but 20's up there in the top 2 or 3.
Let's see. EG says we have won all game. I think he means all the games this year. We have jumped on a team by at least 10 points or more. Uh, and Zeke does better with a lead blocker. Absolutely. I had some numbers on that last season that were memorized in my head. I'm going to try to make sure that I give them to you right. These numbers may not be exactly right. I might be off by a yard or two in here, but under Scott Linehan, who almost always used a fullback, we were using a fullback. I want to say it was somewhere around 73% of the time. It was a lot. It was like 70 something percent of the snaps, if I remember correctly. And Zeke was averaging 6 yards or so per carry. And I was not a Linehan fan, but Kellen Moore comes in. He's not a big fullback guy. We drop way back, less than 10% using a fullback. And that does not count 2020 because we didn't have one because Olawale opted out. But Zeke's yards per carry are like half of what they are without a lead blocker, without that um, situation. And I need to go back and I knew those off the top of my head last season and now I've forgotten, but they're written down in the 2020 notebook, which I don't have in front of me because I got my 2021 notebook in here because everything is in a notebook. Um, yeah, don't call that fool sir, Tavis. Gilmore's in here just to make my life shit. You got to know this, man.
20.
Mm, okay.
I'd have to look up the numbers. I don't know.
Matt Ariaza, is that how you say it? I'll find out how to say it.
Yeah.
I'm writing that down. In the notebook. All right. We're an hour in, Mr. Moffat. What else we got? What do you want to chit
You
chat
got any
about?
matchups you're looking forward to?
Micah Parsons against everyone. I really don't have any like exact matchups that I'm looking for. There's a few players. I'm always excited to see Micah. Obviously, I'm really happy to see Gallimore back, and Randy Gregory back. So, looking forward to that. Cooper, want to make sure that he's good. He had some good weeks in there to rest up. He was a little banged up before the COVID thing. I know he didn't take very many snaps in New Orleans. How many was it? Matt's in here. He may know off the top of his head. We didn't see a whole lot from him though.
From
No.
who? From who?
Cooper.
Oh, he didn't play much at all.
No, it was very few. Interior O line, Todd Corey says, has to hold up against the Washington football team. Defensive tackles, yes. Gallimore, even on limited snaps, will help Osa a lot. Agree. Every time we say Osa, I have to make sure I mention, damn, I love Osa. Uh, Gilmore says, Rika versus me, it'll be a knockout.
Yeah, Osa got a
Oh,
lot. Osa got
I
a
will
lot more
take you
snaps this
down.
year than anybody expected because of injuries and shit like that, and plus his play. You know,
Yeah.
but so yeah, definitely having somebody give him a breather here and there. That's going to help. Like I said, it's going to be. We got some depth there now. I mean, we got a pretty good rotation with the front four. I mean, you got Gregory, you got D Law, you got Osa, you got Gallimore, you got Watkins. Excuse me, y'all. Uh, you did have him. You released him today. Um, but yeah, no, you got a pretty good rotation there. I mean, and then you have the other Basham and fucking Armstrong and fucking Golston. So I mean, you have a lot of rotation there. So that should be exciting to see how they match all of them up.
Do you guys think that, I mean, we had Brent Urban on the 1 year. Do you guys think that he's someone that we want to try to resign in the spring?
Yeah, they'll try to. I mean,
Yeah, I think we can get him on the cheap.
yeah,
I
I
like
think
him. I definitely like Urban.
yeah.
Um, see, Tavis says, talking about those Washington defensive tackles, they're going to struggle tie them to is all pro. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think the struggle. I mean, I think most teams do struggle with them. With that said, I mean, it's not like we faced some shit defensive tackles this year. I mean, we faced a couple of good ones in the first game. You know, there's been what other game? There's been like at least another game that we had that they had some pretty good defense tackles coming up on us, and so I think they'll be fine. I mean, I don't think they'll destroy us any more than they destroy anybody else.
Yeah. Matt says in regards to Urban, his wife is a great follow. Yeah, on Twitter at
Yeah,
Cake and
I
Skate.
follow her on Twitter.
She's cool. Uh, and then I'm gonna go back up. Osa's really saved her bacon this season by playing so well with Gallimore and Hill out. Absolutely. Yeah, and we got
Oh, that's Hill. I didn't even mention
yeah
Hill. I forgot
Hill.
all about fucking Hill.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, like I said, we got a pretty good rotation there. I think we'll.
Matt says their edge rushers are trash. Not worried. Yeah, and with Sweat now on the COVID list, their edge rushers are non-existent, basically. Uh, Pat Campbell, yes. Chase Young is out. And let's see. Let's see, like Urban and run defense support. Me too. I hope that we get Urban back.
Yeah, we
Um,
missed him.
Tavis Banks says LVE gonna be cheap too. Yeah,
He's
I don't know.
yeah, that's another one, man. Fucking that I wasn't high on coming into the season. I told everybody because I wasn't high on Jalen, of course, and I told everybody fucking LVE was just a notch, and I mean a tiny notch better than fucking uh Jalen. I wasn't happy. I didn't like either one of them. Um, LVE's one of them was his injuries, but like I told everybody, even when he was healthy, 2019, 2020, when he did play, he didn't look good. I mean, somebody was showing the other day, I can't remember who it did, was they was breaking down him not being able to get off the ball, get off blocks. Dude, that's what I've been bitching about the past two fucking seasons about him and Jalen. When everybody was telling me, oh, it's the defensive tackles, get better defensive tackles. If you get better defensive tackles, you'll fucking have uh it'll help the linebackers. Well, of course it will. But your linebackers still had to improve. I mean, because they took bad angles, they couldn't get off blocks, and they fucking went to wrong gaps all the time. It's like they was lost. And it wasn't just 2020 when everybody blamed the coaching staff. It was 2019 they was having this issue. It was 2 fucking years. Everybody fucking just washed it off in 2020 as it was all coaching. It wasn't all coaching. When they did know where they were supposed to be, when it wasn't confusion, they still was not good at doing what they were supposed to be doing. And I told everybody having two different better defensive tackles it's going to help any linebacker. But they still had to get better. And obviously the goddamn coaching staff and the owners and the GM thought it too. Because they brought in, they drafted a couple, fucking signed one, So I mean, they was pretty much telling both of them, hey, y'all ain't getting the fucking job done. And LB hasn't improved. He's just not that fucking good. There's nothing I could sit in there and break it down, but at the end of the day, he's just not that fucking good. He had a good rookie year, and then he just hasn't been the same since then. I mean, for a guy that fucking weighs 255, 260, whatever he weighs, he should be able to handle offensive linemen better than he does. And he does not handle offensive linemen. He gets fucking ate up. And that was my problem the past 2 years with him and Jalen. They would get ate up by offensive linemen. And that was everybody's excuse was, we'll get better defensive tackles. And I told everybody from fucking Pee Wee to fucking NFL, I don't give a fuck what level of football you playing. If you play linebacker, at some fucking point, you got to deal with offensive linemen. You're never going to have a linebacker that stays clean the whole game. You're going to have to deal with them. And they did not deal with them good at all. They was bad at it. And LBE's still bad at it. Jalen's still bad at it too, but he's sitting on his couch with his clear views on and fucking watching the game from the fucking TV. So
Matt says he'd rather see what Bernard or Giver can do over LVE. Yeah, and I was going back to that comment, but Charlie went back. Bohanna was not
Matt,
the impact guy.
I've been saying that shit since we fucking drafted him. I said when we drafted him, I liked the pick just because it was 6th-round pick. I'm not picking fucking one-trick pony run stuffers early. So they picked him late, so I was fine with it. But everybody, and I won't mention names, but they was just up on his dick fucking after. Like, he was going to be the saver. That's who in the fuck was going to come in and clean our run game up. And I'm like, really? I mean, because I watched this film from fucking Kentucky, and he was fine. But there was a reason he went in the 6th round. He had issues. His pad level wasn't good. I mean, for a big guy, he wasn't as strong as I thought he should have been. But everybody fucking thought he was going to come in and he was going to be the saver. The whole preseason, I bitched and I fucking screamed, fucking, he is not better than Hamilton. Hamilton is a better player. And then you had people tell me, well, they don't play the same position. Bullshit. Go watch the goddamn preseason. They fucking both played the 1, and they both played the 3, and they both fucking played the 2. And no matter what fucking position they was playing, Hamilton fucking outplayed Bo every fucking time. And it wasn't even close in my eyes. And the fact that we just waived Hamilton, that was more, again, that's a sponsor, over fucking film shit, And plus we're loaded, we're kind of crowded there anyways. I would have still waived Bo. I would have kept Hamilton because that's just me. I think both of them can get through waivers. Some people feel like you can't get both through waivers. And I'm like, how can you not get both through waivers? The dude was a 6th-round draft pick. All right. So nobody was dying over him trying to get him on their draft. Nobody. Or he wouldn't win in the 6th round. Then he comes in the NFL and he puts nothing really that good on film. So there's nothing that he came in and did. And everybody's like, wow, we got to have that guy. You can get fucking both through waivers. But yeah, no, trust me, Matt. Me and Bluff been screaming fucking about Bo since fucking the first fucking preseason game when everybody was riding that dick. He would have like 7 fucking bad plays and nobody noticed. And he make that one good play like that's right there. That's why we got Bo. I'm like, dude, he just got fucking washed out the 7 other plays. I mean, he for a big guy, he doesn't take double teams good. His double team, he gets pushed off the line a lot. And hell, there's sometimes 1-on-1. And then plus he shoots gaps. He likes to fucking, he's actually quicker than I thought he was. He'll fucking shoot a gap and get in the backfield. And everybody's like, yeah, he disrupted the play. No, he didn't. He fucked the whole play up. He shot the gap. The fucking dude ran right where he was supposed to be and fucking went for a 7-yard run. So people don't see that. I don't know. Don't get me started on Bo.
So let me ask you this, Charlie, because last year I was so hard on Terrence Steele. So hard on Terrence Steele. I wanted Terrence Steele to be removed from the face of this planet. And now I love him. He's my guy. So could they work with Bo this offseason? Could they work on his feet? Could they work on his core strength? Could they work on his football IQ and get him to where we thought he would be, where the fans thought he would be, who loved him coming out of the 6th round? Is there potential?
For who?
For Bo.
Yeah, no, I've said that. I've told everybody that to slow the fuck down, and give the kid a chance. Don't start anointing him the fucking one tech that we've been dreaming. I've never dreamed about a one tech. I don't like fat fucks. That's not just me. I'm a fat fuck, so I can say that. But I'm not a guy who wants that big 360 pound dude in the middle. I don't give a shit if we have that or not. All right. To me, they're not as important as everybody makes them out to be. All right. Because I've said this before and I'll explain it again. They get playing time if your defense is failing or your team is failing. Because that's how the offense, that the NFL is a passing fucking league. All right. So you come down, fat fuck comes in on 1st and 10. All right. He gets that down. He does his job. Everybody else does their job. It's 2nd and 10, 2nd and 7. That's a passing down. Fat fuck goes off the field. So he's not getting to play because he did his job. All right. If they don't do anything and it's 3rd and 7, he still stays on the sideline. He's not going to get to come in the game. All right. But if they don't do their job and it's 3rd and 1, what happens? He gets to come back in. Why? Because the defense failed to stop him on 2nd down and get him in the 3rd and short. All right. Or your team is is behind. So if your team's behind by say 14 points, what's the other team going to do? They're going to run the ball more. So your team is failing. So the big boy is going to get more touches. More touches, more snaps. That's what I mean when I say big one techs like that, they're one trick ponies and they're strictly to stop the run. They're only going to get to showcase their skills is if your team is losing or your defense is failing on a per snap basis. That's why I'm not fucking big on them guys. With that said, yes, I do think he has a chance. It's just everybody just anointing. As soon as we drafted him, and again, I'm not going to mention no names. I fucking want to so bad, but they was just on his ass. And preseason, like I said, he'd have 6, 7 bad plays. Nobody would say nothing except me and fucking Bluff. We would be in the chat like, hey, you see that? He just got washed out. Got washed out again. Look at that 1-on-1. He can't handle his block. Then he make that one good play, and everybody be on Twitter. Yeah, that's why we got Bo right there. You fucking dumb fucks, dude. Do y'all watch one play? It irritates me that fans are like that. They get that fucking little pet cat and they just ride that dick to the end. It's like, hey, fucking take it easy on that guy, man. But yes, I do think give him a year, put him in a strength program in an NFL for a year. Yeah, I do think, work on his pad level. That's his main issue. He comes off high. He doesn't play like a big guy. He comes up straight up. His pad level is horrible. But yeah, you can teach him. You can get him stronger, get him better. But again, I really don't care either way if he works out or not. I care because I want the kid to do good. Hell, I pull for anybody. But at the end of the day, for my team, yeah, I'm not really worried about it. We're doing just fine without the big fat one tech that everybody fucking dreaming and fucking got their panties all wet over.
Yeah. Let's scroll back up a little bit. EG says 2 ways we can beat what a fuck team. 1, jump on them so they can pass more and run less. And 2, stop Antonio Gibson, who leads the NFC in rushing yards. Yes. So Gallimore back. Hill back. Watkins back.
To me, a special one tech to me is somebody like Vita.
Okay. All right.
Like somebody like Vita Vela. That's a special one tech because you don't have to take him off the field on 3rd downs. He can rush the passer. He's that big fucking humongous dude that can play all 3 downs because he can also pressure the quarterback. That's special one text to me. If you can tell me somebody like him, we can get somebody like him. Hell yeah, I draft him in the 1st, pay him money. I don't give a shit what you do with him because he can do both. But when you had that one trick pony and all he does is stop the run, I'm sorry, this is a passing league, and it's just not worth it. Draft him high and it's not worth giving him money. If you want to draft one every year in the 5th or 6th round just to keep him rolling in, I'm fine with it. But don't pay him money and don't draft him high. That's my only gripe about him.
Let's see. Tammy has joined the chat. She says, I heard Hardy was coming. Thanks, Tammy, for joining us. I heard Hardy was coming in as a backup to Pollard. Is that true? Could be. Pollard is still listed as questionable. But I would say, yeah, if he's not going to play tomorrow, then Hardy will be in. Matt Owen says back in regard to Jordan Davis, he'll go top 15 though.
I'd have to look at him. I don't know. I can have no fucking problem admitting that I don't know nothing about the players coming out yet, and I won't even touch that shit until the season's over with. But I'll look at him. If he can do both, I'm fine with him. If he's just that one trick pony, then if somebody wants to draft him in the top 15, then good luck with that. Well, we won't be in the top 15, so we don't have to worry about us doing it.
Okay. Tammy says thank you. You're welcome, Tammy. Let's see what else we got. Let me scroll back up, see if I missed any comments. We can go back to this comment that I was talking about. 2 ways we can beat the What If Up team. Jump on them so they can pass more and run less. Stop Antonio Gibson, who leads the NFC in rushing yards. Right.
Technically speaking, that's how you beat everybody. I mean, jump on them quick, take them out of any kind of game plan they had. They thought was going to try to run the ball and beat them. That's the best way. That's why we did it the first 7 weeks of the season. We just mollywopped them from the get-go and made them one-trick ponies in the second half. But yeah, no, I totally agree with him though. Yeah, I mean, we got to come out quick but like I said, I don't really care what team we're playing. We can be playing a run happy team, or we can be playing a run and shoot team. I don't care. I want to come out and jump on them quick and put pressure on them. That's how I always want to do it. And you don't do that by trying to establish the run. You damn sure do that by trying to establish run right at the middle. And you damn sure don't do that by doing it when you're getting fucking 1 or 2 yards every goddamn play. But you still got to establish a run. It's a moronic way of thinking, and it's fucking showed up the past 2 weeks, past 3 weeks actually, and it's fucking a horrible way to play football. I do know about Neil just because I'm an A&M fan, so I do know about him. Tavis Banks talking about him.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we're about an hour and 20 in. I know we were going to cut it kind of short tonight so that Charley can watch UFC. Anything else though that we want to cover?
No, we ain't got to cut it short. That, like I said, I just want to watch the main event. That's not for at least an hour.
That's about 20 after 9. I know you want to get going.
Nah, 10. I'm good. We can keep talking. Okay. There's anything to talk about. I'd rather talk about my Cowboys and watch UFC. It's not that important to me. Trying to think of some more matchups. He kind of touched on it anyways. That's kind of the game plan. That's what I hope we do. Just come out and jump on top. And I think we should pass the fuck out of the ball. That's just me. I made a fucking tweet the other day. I'd have to look it up real quick. On Washington's offense and our offense and their defense and our defense and where we rank as far as the advanced metrics. By the way, Matt Owen wrote another article. Y'all go check it out. It's really good. I tell people this all the time. If you're in analytics, you'll love it. If you're not in analytics, fucking read it and educate yourself and learn analytics. You'll be a better fan for it. I should just ask Matt because he probably has this fucking shit memorized. So me. All right, here we are. Cowboys offense, EPA, DVOA, 9th and 8th on the pass, 9th and 19th and 12th on the run, total 7 and 11. Washington's defense, they're the 30th, 29th ranked pass defense against the pass on EPA, and they're 30th in the DVOA. They're 15th and 8th against the run, and their total defense, they're ranked 30th in both advanced metrics. So that tells me we probably need to pass the ball. Our defense is playing well, man. We're 4th against the pass in both categories, 19th in both categories against the run, and we're top 5 in both, 5th in EPA and 4th in DVOA. Washington's offense is 15th and 11th in pass, 25th and 27th in run, and total 19 and 18. That's why I don't really worry about them running the ball. They do get a lot of yards. He's leading the NFC in yards, but unless you're playing fantasy football, I really don't give a fuck about yards. The only time I want to know how many yards a running back has, or a receiver has, or a quarterback has is when I'm looking up at my fantasy team, because you score points by yards in fantasy football. NFL, you don't score points by yards. You score points by putting the ball in the end zone and being efficient. And efficiency wise, they're not that fucking good on the run. They're 25th and 27th. They just run the ball a lot, and that just gets him a lot of. It's a, like I tell everybody, total yards, anything really, total anything is a volume stat. Total passing yards, that's a volume stat. If you pass the ball a lot, you're probably going to have a fucking lot of yards. If you run the ball a lot, you're probably going to have a lot of yards. Go look it up. Top 5 in rushing, more likely they're going to be in top 5 in attempts too. Same with passing. It's a volume stat that I don't worry about unless I'm playing fantasy football.
Matt says they're 32nd in points
points
per
per
pass
attempt. There you
attempt.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me and Matt always agree on that. We very seldom have. I don't even know if I've ever disagreed with Matt, to be honest with you, on anything, but probably because we always talk about analytics, and that's something that we can both agree on. But yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. That probably means we're going to probably run the ball fucking the first 3 plays right up the middle, because for some reason in the past 3 weeks we decided sometimes I wonder if that comes from fucking Jerry Jones, because Jerry Jones is the one that came out after the Kansas City game and said that their plan was to run at the ball 60% of the time. And I was at work in my van delivering food, and I like to shit on myself when I heard that. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Y'all actually planned pre-game. We want to run the ball 60% of the time. That's fucking horrible. That is horrible. Any plan to throw the ball or run the ball a specific amount of times is horrible. You should let the game dictate that to you. But when you should come out, you should want to pass the ball 60% of the time on fucking early downs, on first, second down. And in them fucking downs, when you're running it 40% of the time, if you see that run is gashing them, then you start fucking running more. But you don't never come out and plan on fucking running or pass. If you're going to plan on passing or running, plan on passing. Don't ever say I want to run the ball 60% of the time. That was horrible. And ever since then, we've been trying to establish the run. And I don't get it. That's why I wonder if it's coming from up top. And like, hey, we need to fucking run the ball more, and they're adjusting that shit to them. I don't know, but it needs to change. I know that.
Okay. EG says our D is built to play from ahead. We can rush the quarterback really good, and our secondary or ball hawks were weak against the run, defensive tackles.
I do believe that, Tavis. I 100% believe that.
Yeah, Jerry and Steven told Dak not
And
to run.
I believe he listened for the first few games, and then he started. If y'all notice, after 3-4 games, he started running that ball. He was kind of like, I'm like, hell yeah, he's starting to run the ball. And then he had that one fucking play against Atlanta where he fucking lowered that fucking shoulder when he didn't need to, and to get that fucking touchdown. And since that fucking date, he has not fucking ran the ball. And I do believe 100% that that's fucking Jerry and Steven saying, no, don't do it. Now, I will say this. What I'm hoping on, I'm hoping they change their mind and tell them, okay, now we're in the meat of the season. Do what you got to do to win. But what I'm hoping on, even if they don't tell them that, is Dash going to tell them to go eat a bag of dicks, and that this is the fucking best. This is the time of the year I got to do whatever I got to do to win this game. And if it means running the fucking ball, I'm running the fucking ball. Y'all, you ain't like y'all can hold my paycheck back. I'm still getting paid. So that's what I'm hoping on. I'm hoping now that we're in the division games and it's like it's nut time. I'm hoping that he's going to say, fuck it, I'm running it whether they like it or not. Or I'm hoping they give him permission to. It's like, hey, look, let's go ahead. Because, call run plays. I'm sure we have, but I can't remember right off the top of my head one call run play for Dak. I can't really remember any. Any zone reads where he keeps the fucking ball. Most of his shit has been off scrambles. And even then, you can tell somebody's telling him not to run because you see him doing this and you kind of see him want to tuck it and fucking go, and he just won't, And that's part of his fucking game. That's part of this offense. That's part of what makes this offense good, is that he has that ability, and that teams have to fucking account for that. But if they don't have to account for that, that's one less thing. And I'm like, why would you want to do that? I understand he got hurt from a scramble last year and shit. I get that, but that's a freak accident. That's that shit. It's football. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, there you go. That's what I thought, Matt. Sneaks only. That I couldn't remember one design run, and I guess technically that's a design run, but I think most people knew what I was talking about. But yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I couldn't remember one play that they actually designed for him to run. Like fucking, somebody was showing tape of it yesterday of that play against Washington in 2019 where he ran for like a 60-yard run. He fucking stiffed arm Norman, fucking threw him on the ground. We don't have them plays anymore, and that makes a difference. That was part of offense. That's what part that makes Dak Dak. You know, I mean, he has that ability, and you can't take that away from him. You know that takes a piece out of your offense. That's an important piece. You know, like I said, it's football. It's like fucking people not wanting CeeDee Lamb as a fucking punt return. It's like, fuck, dude, it's football. It's less than two fucking goddamn punt returns a game is all he's doing. It's, I'm okay with it. We preach about how we want our special teams better, and we preach about on every other position group that we want our best 11. But when it comes to punt team, nobody's like, no, we want our best 11. We want to be good, but we don't want CD out there. Well, fuck, if he's part of your best 11, you want your special teams to improve, then he's got to fucking be out there. So I agree as long as Dak is smart about it. But I feel like there was way too many plays this year that he scrambled out, and he had 7 or 8 yards, clear yards, and he either threw it away, or it was incomplete pass, or that he could have. That for me, anyways, maybe I'm just looking at it wrong. He looks like he wants to run, like he just wants to, but he's like in his head, I can't, and then he'll throw it away or fucking throw it at their feet, or it'll be incomplete pass. We're trying to make a pass that he shouldn't make. Sometimes, man, you just gotta let a fucking athlete, gotta let a dog be a dog, as some people would say. You just gotta let him play, and pray to baby Jesus he doesn't get hurt.
All right, Tammy agrees. Just let him loose. Let him destroy those in his path. Yeah.
Hold on, Matt. I'll go check that out real quick.
Talking about the
personnel gripping, the run pass ratio, and personnel and 11 personnel. Let me see what Matty Matt's talking about here.
All right, guys. Well, Charley checks that out really quick. We'll take a second. And hey, kids, don't forget, twistedgorilla.com has the best t-shirts online. They've got funny t-shirts, sarcastic t-shirts, but most importantly, y'all, they've got Cowboys t-shirts. So head to twistedgorilla.com. Let them know that you're a fan of the Cowboys, that you're a fan of Rika, that you're a fan of this show, and that you hate Charley. Also, save 15% at checkout when you use coupon code RIKA15. And that website, that coupon code, and the ticker right down there. So go check that out. It's not too late to place your order, get stuff in time for Christmas, and that 15% is good off your entire order. They've got some really good stuff over there. Fun Christmas teas. Absolutely fun. A lot of Christmas Vacation and Home Alone. All the Christmas movies. They got this stuff going on over there. Did you find it yet, Charley?
Yeah.
Still learning how to use the internet?
No, yeah, 11 personnel. We pass out of it at 72% of the time and run out at 28. That's pretty lopsided. And 11 personnel is actually, even though it's a 3 wide receiver set, it's actually a really good fucking personnel grouping to run out of, because you do have 3 wide receivers out there that's got to be accounted for. So it's hard to stack the box. You probably heard me talk about this on multiple shows. It's hard to stack a box on 11 personnel, because if you put one extra person in the box, you're leaving all 3 wide receivers one-on-one, and teams typically don't want to do that. I brought it up in 2018. Zeke had, when they ran out of 11 personnel, he saw less than 2% stack boxes. Out of every other personnel grouping that we ran, that we ran out of, he saw over 50% stack boxes. And that's just because it's hard. That's what I always tell people. Teams don't stack boxes according to what running back you have. Teams stack boxes according to what personnel group you run out of. you can have what people think the best running back in the NFL. And if you run every play out of 11 personnel, they're not stacking the box. Very seldom they're going to stack that box because they're not going to leave them 3 wide receivers one-on-one every play. So yeah, that's kind of lopsided. Also, what's lopsided is our 12 personnel. We run out of 12 personnel 64% of the time and pass out of 36% of the time. That should be more, not necessarily the other way around, but the passing needs to come up in that and the run needs to lower in that because that's predictable. That's a trend. Team C, that's kind of trending, and it kind of tells everybody you're in 12 personnel, you're going to run it. I mean, you're always going to have a trend. You're always going to do one more than another, but it shouldn't be that much. But yeah, thanks for pointing that out, Matt. I haven't looked at personnel groupings all year, except maybe the first 3 weeks. Yeah, I didn't see that. We averaged 4. I didn't even look at it, see how many yards we averaged out of it.
All right, we are about an hour and a half in.
4.9 is what I'm showing. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. We pass out a good too. We average 8.5 and 47% success rate and shit like that. So, but I agree, Matt. We probably need to tone that down a little bit and probably run out of it more. Yeah, I don't know why I haven't looked at personnel groupings. Fucking my life is busy. And fucking past 5 weeks, I haven't looked at anything because I've been so disappointed. I don't want to fucking see the stats. It's like I watched the play and that depresses me enough. I don't want to fucking look. And I do look at running backs. Don't matter though. I do look up the EPA every week. That is my little thing I do. And there comes Eric Blowout.
Your life is busy, Charlie. You literally spent 20 minutes yesterday singing stupid songs to me on the phone in a fucked up voice. This is what you do.
Don't fucking tell people that because then they're going to think I'm like all nice and serenading you. Trust me, it wasn't like nice songs.
It wasn't a nice serenade.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, people's going, oh, look, so sweet. Charlie's singing a Rika. No, fuck, I'm not. I'm trying to annoy her, not fucking impress her.
It was the shit that gave me nightmares, okay?
Fucking.
I didn't sleep well last night.
Serenading his moment. No, Matt, I am not. No, no.
Funny. All right. We're an hour. We're an hour and a half.
Right, too loud, crew. Yes, Pat. Do you want some pussy? That's what I was singing to her.
We're changing this.
Well, me and Pat, because we grew up together. We listened to that. The reason 7th grade when that shit came out, we used to listen to it all the time on our fucking Walkmans. That's how fucking old we are.
Oh, my eyes hurt.
Two Live Crew was a shit. I seen him in concert too.
Oh my gosh. That made me laugh so hard to cry. All right. You want to do some over-under, Charlie?
Sure, you do them. I ain't coming with that shit. That's Bluff's job.
All right. Yeah, it's Bluff's job, but Bluff is busy. So I'm going to fill in. I'm not as good. All right, chat. Make sure to play along. That's the only way it's fun. If it's just me and Charlie, it's just stupid. Even stupider than Charlie's serenades. All right. Okay. Micah Parsons. Over under 1.5 sacks.
I'll say over. And Matt, yes, that's another thing that's totally off topic. But do y'all like them? Barkhart and Olsen? I like them. I actually like that fucking crew. I think Olsen's good. And Barkhart he's not over the top. He's not like, hey, look at me shit. So I kind of like, I don't know. That's just me. I also like Collinsworth, and most people don't. So.
Mix between Fergie and Jesus.
All right, Matt likes him. See, look at that. Me and Matt are.
Yeah. Look. All right.
Thought maybe me and Matt would disagree on the subject finally, but we didn't. I like him.
Parsons, 1.5 sacks. So
Yeah,
we've
I'll
got
go over.
Dwayne Wright over, Eric over, Charley over, EG over, Tammy over. I'm with all you guys over. Tavis over. Okay. Hmm. Trying to think of another. I'm not as good at this as Bluff is. Okay.
Over under Dak 2 touchdowns. Throwing touchdowns.
Throwing touchdowns over.
Throwing touchdowns.
Over.
Matt says push
Passing
1.5.
touchdowns. Yeah, that was on Parsons sacks. Yeah,
Over.
Eric, I was about to ask on interceptions. We'll do that next. Over. Diggs. Shut up, Josh. Diggs. Pat Campbell over. Tammy says over. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be a pass happy game. It'll definitely be more than 2 passing touchdowns. Okay, interceptions. We'll go the entire Dallas secondary total interceptions over under 2.
Oh, it'd be over 2.
Over 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. See what the chat says. Total interceptions. Dwayne Wright says 2. Eric's a push. Josh says under. Josh is stupid. Todd Gorey says 2. Matt Owens push. He's saying right on 2. Okay. Tammy says over. I'm thinking 3.
If the
Pat
game
says
plays out
push.
like I think it is, the only reason I'm going over is because they're going to be passing the ball a lot in the fourth quarter. I think we'll get one before that, and I think we'll get a couple just like desperation ones. Like that's not necessarily Heineke's fault, but just how the game. I mean, sometimes you just gotta fucking wing it and say fuck it, and go with what happens.
Tammy says Diggs, AB, and Lewis. You want to go one apiece again? I like it when we do that. I like that a lot.
I want a fat boy to get another one, man. I love when fat guys fucking get
Wasn't that
interceptions.
nice?
Especially when they get it run
Yeah.
back for that's like fucking every fat boy's dream.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm fat, so y'all don't fucking think I'm making fun of fat people here.
Okay. Dallas running backs as a total because we don't know. We got Pollard questionable. We might see some Hardy tomorrow. Let's say total yards on the ground for all running backs over under 100. Charley.
Oh, I'll be over that. Because I think we'll run the ball a lot in the fourth quarter. They'll get a lot of chances in the fourth quarter. Because I'm hoping we're going to have the lead. Mm-hmm. And we're going to run the ball when we're supposed to fucking run the ball, which is when you have the lead in the fourth quarter. Not in the goddamn first quarter. Watkins was moving, dude. He was a lot faster than I thought he was for a big boy.
Yeah. Pat agrees and says over. Dwayne Wright says over. Tammy over.
What's y'all's fucking opinion on Parsons for Defensive Player of the Year? I see a lot of Cowboy fans pissed off because, which I don't know why they're pissed off about this. Well, yeah, I do, because Cowboy fans fucking cry and bitch about everything.
Thank you, Tavis. I think so too.
They're pissed about where Vegas has them as odds. I think they got them like the 7th or 8th best odds to win the Defensive Player of the Year. But I try to tell them, I mean, that's odds. That's not voting. I mean, that's not where they think he's going to. When Vegas sets numbers, they set them to where they think they could win the most money and the most probability of winning the money and not losing money. So having Parsons any higher is a chance for them to fucking lose their ass. So that's just not something they're going to. I mean, first of all, rookie hasn't won it except I think one time, and that was LT. So the odds of him winning it, them actually voting him defense player of the year, it's low. Whether he deserves it or not, take that the fuck out of the window. We've seen MVPs get MVPs that we thought didn't deserve it, and other people should have got it. So, and it's not like that he's so far above everybody else that nobody else has a chance. I mean, there's other players that's playing good, that's putting up good numbers. So I don't understand why some people are so mad about it. I'm not saying to deserve it. I said last week after last week's game, one of my first tweets was, "Fuck defensive rookie of the year. He needs to be in the fucking talk about defensive player of the year." I'm not saying he's going to get it, but he needs to be at least looked at. It's just hard for a rookie to win that. I mean, he would have to just surpass everybody by so much to where they're like, look, we can't give it to nobody else. And to be honest with you, he has 5 games left. He can do it. He has 5 games left. I mean, he can. I mean, he's averaged a sack a game, I think, the past 5 games. So if he gets another 5, he ends up with, 15, 16 sacks, and he keeps everything else going, he's going to have a very good shot at fucking winning Defense Player of the Year.
Yeah, I would agree with Tammy that Defensive Rookie of the Year, I mean, I can't think of anybody else who deserves it more than Parsons at this point.
I don't see any way he
Player
doesn't
of
get
the
defense.
Year,
Yeah, defensive
yeah,
rookie of the year.
Player of the Year is gonna be a little bit more difficult, but I wouldn't say that he doesn't deserve it. We'll just have to see how it all plays out.
Yeah, rookie of the year right now, he has that. I mean, he would have to just totally flop, and that's not going to happen. He's going to get defensive rookie of the year. Depending on how he does the next 5 games, will be how much conversation he's going to get for defensive player of the year. But voters just really don't want to. It's like they have a problem with giving it to rookies. And another thing is, there's not a lot of rookies come in and just fucking do what he's doing either. So there's that too. That's another thing. I compared him to me. He's like, since I'm old enough to remember this shit, he reminds me not just of people talking about Lawrence Taylor and fucking damn, my mind just went fucking blank. Kansas City's Derek Thomas. That he reminds me like of a combination of both of them. And that's a big fucking compliment because that was 2 of the fucking best they ever did it.
All right, guys. Well, it has been a super fun night. I want to thank everybody that was in the chat. Mr. Gilmore, as always. Eric Berger, thanks for stopping by. Maybe stop being a jackass and come live with us one night. That would be awesome. Matt Owen, of course. Tavis Banks, thanks for hanging in. Pat Campbell, I'm sorry that you're friends with Charley. I'm sorry I'm friends with Charley. Todd Corey, EG. Tammy, thank you for joining us tonight. We hope to see you back again. If you haven't already, please make sure hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell so you can get notified every single time we go live. Dwayne Wrights, thank you so much. EG, hadn't seen you in before. Thanks for coming in. And as always, like again with Tammy, please make sure that you've hit that subscribe button. We'll be back here next Saturday night. Me, Charley, hopefully Bluff, Mr. Marcus D. Jones will be with us, and whoever else shows up for the show. I'll be on Tuesday night on the Dallas Cowboys Uncensored Network at 7 p.m. Central Time. As always, I'll have Charley with me, and this week my guest is Mr. Wedgebuster from Twitter. We'll be talking Washington football game post game and looking at the Giants moving into week 15. Charley, you got anything?
No, the Oma Pie in the draft reaction clip. Yeah. If you're not a member of Dallas Cowboys Uncensored group or Dallas Cowboys Uncensored page, go join. I also posted on Twitter. It's a little about a minute and 30-second clip of draft night when me and Eric reacted to the Parsons pick. It's pretty funny because I call him a beast now, and I fucking saying that he deserves. I did compare him to LT and fucking Thomas, which was 2 of the best ever done it. But that night it was not the same. So it was a reaction video
Yeah.
of me
I
and
got to
Eric
eat a
fucking.
whole lot of crow regarding Parsons. I wrote a really nasty blog about him. I owe him an apology. I owe him an apology blog. And that night of the draft, I wasn't feeling good. And Sid from the DC for Life channel and Philly Notion were on together, hollered at me, asked me to stop by and give him my thoughts on the pick. I might have said something about how I prefer that my $160 million quarterback not have to establish a safe word in the locker room. I mean, allegedly, I said some really ugly things about Micah Parsons. He's fantastic. I was wrong, and I'm happy to be wrong. Love Micah. Cancel Rowdy. Fuck yes. In case you guys were wondering, Rowdy is the worst mascot in the history of professional sports, and that foam in his muscles comes from the insides of stuffed animals that he stole from orphans. And that's official because I said it. So,
Well, yeah, go check
um,
the clip out on Twitter. It's just me and Eric fucking being pissed
yeah,
off.
it's a
And there's an
really good
apology.
clip.
And I've never tagged a player in my life on Twitter or anywhere. And I actually tagged Michael Parsons in that just to let him, so he can watch my reaction. How my exact words, this was the worst pick ever. That was what I said. And so, but like I said, I was wrong. Wasn't the first time I was wrong. Won't be the last time I was wrong. In my defense, if I would have known we was going to use him the way we did, I was like, I would never have been mad about the pick. But I thought drafting the off the ball linebacker, we was going to play him like an off the ball linebacker. And if we did, I would have been right. And that would have been a horrible pick. But thanks to Dan Quinn, that motherfucker has released him, and he's been a fucking beautiful pick for us. And I love the pick now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
no complaints now. But I was bored last night. I was like, you know what? Let me make a clip of me and Eric fucking. I was so pissed off. God, I was pissed off.
See,
Even my
I knew
son
he
was
was
watching us live.
teasing.
He told me, he said, yeah, I was watching y'all live. He said, until we picked Parsons. He said, then I thought, yep, Daddy's about to go off. So he said, I just clicked off of it. I didn't want to hear what you was going to say because he knew I didn't want Parsons. Well, he knows my philosophy of running backs, off the ball linebackers, and all that good shit.
Yeah.
He's heard me talk about it for however many years now.
Yeah. Thank you, Tammy. I had fun putting those together. Yeah, I wanted Slater too, Todd Corey. That
Well,
was
that's
my
what I
guy.
said in the clip. I was like, Slater's on the board. I
Yeah.
said he could be a
My
10-year
heart was
vet. Yeah,
broken Slater
I
on
was
that board.
mad.
But I knew that athletically wise that Parsons was gonna be fantastic. I had serious doubts though about his character. And he's 100% proved me wrong in that avenue. And yeah, I steal everything. And the stuff that I do buy is with money I stole out of MJ Gilmore's wallet. So that's how I roll. Um, yeah, Parsons he's great and I love him. So, all right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Like I said before, don't forget, give us a like. If you hate Charley, give us a dislike. We're okay with it. I'm keeping track. I'm taking a poll. Hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and make sure that you join me right back here Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. And
Predictions.
score predictions.
Yeah, fuck.
Daggum.
God damn, you suck as a fucking host.
Oh, you suck as a host. I don't know why we're doing stupid score predictions. You never get them right anyway.
Yeah, no. Most people don't.
My score prediction. We're going to kill it tomorrow. It's going to be 38-6. Dallas.
Wow. I got 27-20. Cowboys. I didn't know if I had to say that or not.
Yeah. Chat, you guys want to throw any at me? I write them down in this notebook and then we never look at them again.
Tammy has it 35-24 Cowboys.
Okay.
Matt Owen 31-14 Cowboys. D. Wayne Wright 33-17 Cowboys. Man. I don't know what it is about every time I get behind the camera, I start burping. Get acid. I don't know what the fuck it is. I mean, the whole show, every show you ever see me do, I'm like, the whole goddamn show.
Tavis 2720.
Hey, look, he got the same thing I do. Great
Todd
minds.
2422.
Great mind. Thanks a lot, Tavis.
All right, guys. I got him. And EG 2417.
If we win, depending on how we win and shit like that, I might go live tomorrow after we win.
Okay.
That last game against New Orleans, I didn't go live. It was late. And plus, it was just kind of, I'm not complaining about a win. Fucking, I'm always going to enjoy a W.
But it was just, win.
It was just kind of like a meh. We won. I was glad we won, but just, I didn't feel like I could really get on here and talk about it a whole lot. But yeah, if we win tomorrow, probably regardless if it's ugly or not, I'll fucking come on here and go live. If Bluff ain't busy, he'll go live with me. If Rock is not busy. And hey, and on this show right here on Saturdays, I put it in our group and I put it on Twitter. All you have to do is ask for a link, and I'll send you a link to come on live with us.
Yeah.
You ain't got to stay in the, like Tavis Bank. If you want to come on, you ain't got to be in the chat. Let me know, and I'll send you a link, and you come on live with us, so you ain't got to type everything out, and we can actually talk. That's anybody. Matt already knows. I've told him many times. So yeah.
Yeah, and
this show's open to everybody.
I'm gonna get with you, Matt, because I definitely want to have you on the Rika show at some point during the playoffs. So I'll text you.
Matt, what fight are they on? How far they are from the co-main event? So I know if I need to get the fuck out of here and stop talking to Rika after being in the show or not. Because UFC is more important than talking to her.
Yeah.
The silence.
Wait, no, Matt.
Tammy. So what? I know that name from somewhere. 2 fights, 2 first round KOs. Okay, it's only been 2 fights. All right, cool. I got some time. All
right, cool. All right, guys, have a good night, and we'll see you back here on Tuesday.
Everybody knows this one. Let's go now.
Yeah, does everybody know this one here?
Oh, Frank, we're fighting again. Let's not fight anymore. Oh, look, Frank. What is it? It's a...
The bitch hit me with a toaster.